All right, looks like we are officially live. Just waiting on Alex to come on board. But I hope this is fully operational. It looks like it is. And yeah, I think we're live. All right, just waiting on Alex. So it looks like we are officially live. Just wait. That's the playback. Sorry. So yeah, I just wanted to do some Q&A with some people, and there's a lot of questions that I have been getting from clients for 2023. And I wanted to go over some questions that I've been having with some clients, but wanted to see if anyone on here had any questions. And Alex is coming on board. All right. There he is. Just connect. There you go. What's going on?
There I am.
There you are. I think I did it right this time. I'm looking at the live. The link works. I think we're all good to go.
All right. We got Josh on there.
I'm not sure if Josh is on here. I think he'll put a comment eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drink some water here.
He's a troll for sure.
I just got off a call. I was talking to a real estate agent. He's a friend of mine in Idaho. So I'm gonna help him get his content dialed in, and
cool, man.
Yeah, just from scratch. Like his IG hasn't even created hasn't done his creator account yet. We're gonna get him dialed in this way. He'll knock it out. Then he's gonna be a Romeo Echo agent one day. Watch.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. It's exciting to see the expansion that we're getting, man. It feels like we've been getting a lot more attention with aside from the client base, it's also like recognition on that space as well. So it's pretty cool that we've had that much recognition. But yeah, man, Texas is going to be opening in the next couple months, and I'll be heading over to San Antonio. We're going to break up, you and I. We're going to have our last date together.
Nah, that's not going to happen. Nah, that won't happen.
Yeah, because you're coming with me, bro.
Texas. Yeah, I got to get that. Taking some notes right now. ASAP. I'm putting Texas ASAP licensing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. If it wasn't already done beforehand.
I know that was actually our next one. So we'll get it done.
Yeah, so absolutely. So yeah, I'm going to be opening up Texas very, very soon, which is going to be fun. But what I really wanted to dive in this live was some questions that I was having.
Yeah.
As like not only with the market, but with the veteran space. Because we were talking like there was a lot of changes this year with the VA, specifically California, with having that tax exemption for people for veterans that are 100% rated or more. That was, I think it was expanded to other counties aside from just Ventura County, but LA County has it now, just for our reference. And yeah, it's like a California thing now. Other states have adopted it, but yeah, I believe it's the same thing as Ventura County, where it's $150,000 tax exemption.
Yeah, and also it's that what we talked about before, and you have to ask the lender, but few of the lenders that we work with, they allow this. So if the veteran is 100% rated, and we can qualify them based off the property tax exempt amount, we just have to we show proof that they're 100%, which that's on the certificate of eligibility,
right? And
they'll qualify them based off that tax exemption amount, which that's a couple $100 to a few $100 a month. Yeah. And in some cases that can make or break a deal. So it doesn't seem like a lot of money, but it makes a big difference. So instead of qualifying based off, if their property taxes are $600 a month, these aren't exact numbers, but now they're going to qualify based off $400 a month property taxes. Huge difference.
Absolutely. And like the real thing that really brought this up was a client that reached out to me that I was trying to help him. I was trying to help him purchase a house a couple, maybe even over a year ago. He got priced out. But now that things are starting to slow down, prices are kind of winding back, and he's rated at 100%. We helped him do that. And now he has the ability to really afford a bigger, better mortgage. And like he's looking at properties that I think are going to be a lot more suitable for him. And this factor, this tax exemption, is going to get him into from a little bit like, okay, I've never had to pay this much before, but I'm okay with it, to like, all right, I'm good. I'm good. I'm in the black. I'm fine. I'm okay with the payment. So expect an application coming in pretty soon.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I think, no, that makes a big difference. Honestly, that makes a huge difference. I mean, California, I mean, it's too bad that they didn't do it where it was 100%, but I mean, at least, they still have that exemption, that help. But yeah, it makes a big difference. I know with rates going up, but also with VA rates are historically lower than any type of other program than, conventional or any type of loan out there. So paying less interest. The majority of vets go 100% financing. You don't have to, but the majority do. I know we talked about this. We've had vets, they have their VA loan, they sell a property, and then they're going to purchase another home. We actually this happened recently on a transaction we worked on. And we talked about the same customer on the last call.
Yeah.
And instead of using those funds for a down payment, he went 100% financing on this his second purchase. It was second home purchase, and the money he got from the sale of the property, he just pocketed that money. And had another vet, he did the same thing, and he made over $100,000. He was a recruiter. He made over $100,000 from the sale of his home. And I asked him, "Are you going to put a down payment?" He's like, "No, man, I'm gonna pocket it."
That's so cool.
Yeah, and because with that money, he was able to pay off some debt, make other investments, and also just having that, you have that little nest egg there. You gotta make sure.
Cushion. You could do whatever you want with it. You can do renovations, like pocket it, go buy something. I don't recommend just like buying whatever or going on a vacation, but like probably reinvest it in something that's going to be valuable for you and your family. That family that you mentioned that we did the deal on, I mean, they're going to have a kid, so they're going to be saving that money for doing things around the house to prepare for the kid, and little renovations here and there. So it's like it worked out perfectly for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
So they're very, very happy. Another thing is coming that like another set of questions that came up was in regards to like, what can I do with deals right now? How can I win as a buyer now? Like we know that prices have been going down. Interest rates are relatively what they've been for the last couple of months. Like it's relatively the same. And I think that if anything, we're going to see interest rates that kind of stay consistent, and prices have been adjusting accordingly. I mean, we're like even with a family that we even worked with a new construction, that same company has different pricing for that same unit that is aligned with what we negotiated that first time. So I'm pretty sure we can even get them lower than what they were initially.
Yep.
Purchased, like what that client purchased for. So it's like there's better deals right now, and more incentives too with these home builders as well. So I mean, that one, it's a cash grab right now. There's a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, there definitely is. I was talking to Dean earlier today, and we're looking at some properties, and Open Door. I think maybe we talked about that. Open Door, they're getting like, if you look at any property, if anyone's watching this or they, now or later on, go ahead, look up open door properties. So you'll see
Oh,
they'll
man.
buy a property for like, there was one we're looking at, they bought it for $1,040,000. And we did this transaction. Open Door bought it for $1,040,000, and it was a couple months later. I thought I had it up here. A couple months later, they ended up selling the property for $945,000.
Oof.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that
you
sucks.
can't do that. Yeah, you can't sustain a profitable business by doing that. By, I don't know, that's just one property. That's local. There was another
Yeah.
one Dean was looking at, and he's been following it, and it was listed like like 90 days ago. I can't remember, a few months ago.
Hmm.
And he keeps seeing price drops, price drop, another price drop, another price drop. Then he checked again today and it was gone. So
Ooh.
he's like, well, they still own it. So why do they take it off the market? So he's gonna keep following up and see what's going on with that. But these properties, but I say that because that's, if you're a buyer, you could jump in and get a killer deal.
Yeah. Yeah. We like I was looking at a property for this client that we've been searching for a while, and she's taking her time. You know her. She's taking her time with a lot,
Yeah.
and the property that she was looking at, it was on the market for like 200 days, and it was a little bit above what her budget was,
Mm-hmm.
but I just saw that it was withdrawn from the market. So I was telling her today, like, hey, there's an opportunity here. Like we can go after this and not have to, not have to have like such a high price, or have some kind of a break that can help you out with the payment so that you guys are feeling a little bit better with the situation.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, the discussion went from there. So it's withdrawn. So maybe I can swoop in and hook them up with a good deal. I'm sure we can work something out. And like that's the type of market that we're in right now. Buyers are taking advantage. But I do want to say that sellers aren't completely shut out though.
Right.
So
I think
like
that's a big concern. People are thinking, they're like, if a buyer
exactly.
is getting such a great deal, that means seller, if I'm selling, I'm going to
Mhm.
get screwed, but that's not the case.
Yeah, and it's like people were looking at it from like 2022, right? 2022 rates went up exponentially, but it was like, and people were seeing prices drop quite a bit, but those price drops are still higher than what they were the year prior.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like, okay, like we had a crazy increase in 2020, 2021, and even 2022, early 22. Those 2.5 years of like crazy increases, like that was free equity. Like that typically doesn't happen. You
Hmm.
know, like those are anomalies. Like you're just gaining off the market. You should only expect like 4% maybe. And
Yeah.
people were getting hundreds of thousands of dollars of equity. Like that's insane, insane,
It's a
insane.
lot.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like places like I was doing some research on Austin and San Antonio. Some some areas doubled in value in those 2 years, 2 3 years. So it's like, okay, that's 100%. That's a hundred
Yeah.
percent gain. It's wild.
No, it
It's
is wild, dude. I mean, think about it. Yeah. Just the way everything is going. But yeah, like we said on the other call, long term, you know,
Mhm.
if someone says, hey, I want to buy a property, then, ask them, how long you plan on living there? If they said, oh, I'm going to be there about a year, then, all right, pump your brakes. Let's really think
Yeah,
about this. And the salesperson and anybody is going to be like, yeah, get a place. But if they say, yeah, I plan on keeping it, I plan on living there for a year, and I'm going to make it turn into investment property all day, do it, man.
yeah,
Man or
yeah, and
woman,
that's
whoever.
yeah, that's another opportunity too,
Hmm.
like investment properties. Because if like it's not necessarily real estate that's hurting, it's other markets that are hurting, and those things are hurting real estate. Granted,
Yeah.
like real estate it's staying fairly neutral based off of like just based off of the numbers, right? And like there's other markets. I was looking at the S&P 500, like that's dropped so much. there's a ton of other markets that have been really hit by, there's just the ramifications of the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And those industries are getting hit now. When like, and I was reading articles and doing some research, and I was thinking about it. It's like, what is the first thing that people want when they're scared of the market, when they're going through tough times? They have to get some cash in their pocket, and they have to let go of some assets. Typically,
Hmm.
that'll be real estate that they don't feel is worth their time. So
Yeah.
or an investment that just didn't pan out the way they wanted. So typically, those are going to be the deals that you're going to be finding right now, and we're finding them, bro. Like there's a lot of deals out there right now
Yeah.
because rents are still high. Rents are still up there. Rent doesn't really
Yeah.
go down.
Yeah. I think I was going to ask you, like, strategy wise, it's, excuse me, like, it's when you said that properties was withdrawn, or how I was looking at a property with Dean and it was taken off the market, or maybe the same thing withdrawn.
Mhm.
Is that, and this is for anyone watching, is that like a strategy that maybe some agents do? They go, hey, let's take it off the market. It's been on the market for 90 days, no bites. Let's take it off the market for like 2 weeks, and then we'll put it back on.
There's a way to reset a listing.
Hmm.
I haven't had to do it before, but there's a way of you like essentially resetting the listing, making it look like it's day one on market on
Hmm.
all the platforms, the MLS, Zillow, Trulia. Like it makes it look like it's a brand new listing, because when it has 3 digits next to the days on market, doesn't look good.
Yeah.
So people automatically assume there's something wrong with the property, something that people months ago would never touch,
Got it.
especially if it went pending. And right now, if it's gone pending and there was something that went wrong during escrow, a lot of that happened in 22, at like mid to late 22, when interest rates were just skyrocketing, and
Hmm.
just people were just caught off guard with the interest rates. Like people had to pull out of deals a lot. Like I think we had one, and it was there's a lot of that. So
Yeah.
when that happens, people just automatically assume that, like, hey, you know what? This is just this is a bad property. It went in escrow, but then it went right back into the market without explanation, right? Like you
Yeah.
can't really explain why it went back on market. And even if you do, it kind of seems like, oh, okay, that was BS.
Mm.
Like that
Yeah.
was like they're just trying to save face. Usually,
Yeah.
agents try to do stuff like that, and that's what
I mean,
happens.
especially now, because let's say they do that, and you already, it's not like there's I mean, there's properties, there's homes on the market, but when you see that property come back on, you're like, oh, that property's back on the market.
Yeah,
Especially when it's been on the market for a long time, it's just like you always see it. You always see it.
yeah.
So
We have
yeah.
a we have a question here. Why are so many sellers so stubborn on not dropping the price, especially when their property's been on the market for several months and even years? Then it goes back and forth on and off the market. I think it's a combination of things. It's like either lack of information, like on my side, like lack of information on how the market works and what the market's doing right now. Basically, it might be just a failure on the agent, but it also may be like ego or stubbornness of the person that owns the property. It's just part of it. People want a price tied to their property. They want a specific number. Like, hey, I have $1 million house. I own $1 million home. And like
Mhm.
that's prideful, right? So I think
Yeah.
that's part of it. It's a big part of it. And people like it, the way I do listing presentations, is that you don't want to catch up to the market. You want to beat the market and have a lot of eyes on your property, and those eyes are going to dictate your pricing. So you're never going to catch up. They're going to catch up to you. So that's really the ideal way to do it. But sometimes, it's just an ego thing. Someone just promised them a lot and wasn't able to deliver. It's a combination of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I cut you off on anything?
Me?
Yeah.
No,
No.
you got it right there. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's the whole thing how you said, my house is $1 million, and then if the house, they get an offer for 920, like, oh, well, my house is $1 million. Well,
Hmm.
it's part of, I guess, I mean, I'm on the loan side.
Hmm.
So I just know just from owning properties or, working on transactions, but I could see from the agent side, it's like you're saying, it's probably the lack of communication with the agent and seller and educating the seller in the market. Hey, this is the kind of market we're in. So if your house is 1.1 million last, last June in the summer, then if you're trying to list your house again, depending what market you're in, maybe your house is in 1.1 million, maybe it's 1,050,000 or it's like a million. I was looking at HomeBot for my own house. I was looking to do that.
Yeah.
And I saw like it went up quite a bit, just like everybody else's, and it dipped down a little bit, and then it came back up, and then it kind of leveled off. It hasn't really dropped. I think a
Yeah.
lot of these, and we said on the call before, is these desirable areas, we might see a little bit of a drop, 10% drop, or but if people want to move here, it's gonna keep the prices pretty level. I mean, where we're at, where I'm at, Simi Valley area, or the Valencia Santa Clarita area where you're at, is these are desirable places where people want to live here, and also they're pretty affordable in comparison to other parts of like
Yeah.
Ventura County or LA. So that's why you have people coming from out of area saying, hey, this is the spot I want to be because it's the most affordable and it's keeping our prices. Like my neighbors, they moved in, they came from the San Fernando Valley, and the house they wanted to get this because that same house was much more over there. Like they couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
So they came here. So that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah. We have a way less, like in Santa Clarita, like our price per square foot is like $100 less than LA County or LA.
Yeah.
It's a big difference, bro. It's a big difference. You get more property, but the payoff is just like where it's physically located. It's kind of secluded where I am,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also the type of people that purchase those kinds of properties. So like in my area, it's a lot of prior military, police, firefighters, first responders. A lot of first
Mm-hmm.
responders live in that area because of the type of work that they do. So if you really think about it, what is a cop's typical hours? It's like 12 hours, right? 12-hour
Mm-hmm.
shifts or 14-hour shifts, like really long shifts. And typically those hours are either odd or they're not in like, gridlock hours.
Yeah.
It's kind of around those times. I think, strategically, but same thing with a firefighter. Firefighters on for like they can be on for a day, off for a day, or on. I have an uncle that's on for 4 days straight and then off for 4 days straight. That's a badass schedule. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
he only has to drive there once. So and he's at work, he sleeps there, he stays there, and then he goes home and he's there for another 4 days.
Yeah.
So it's a badass schedule. It's a pretty cool schedule, and a lot of first responders have those types of schedules. So it's like a long stint of time. So the travel isn't as detrimental for those types of people because they don't travel like that. It's
Yeah. Yeah. And in the area, these areas, I think, yeah, you're right. Cause this city also, there's a lot of same
Mhm.
thing, very similar to Santa Clarita, a
Yeah,
lot of first responders, you got a lot of educators, but
that's right. You
yeah,
guys do have, yeah.
yeah,
And you guys are relatively close to the valley too.
yeah.
So
So
yeah,
commute is not, I mean, it's kind of in a good spot where the commute isn't very far.
no,
Mm-hmm.
no. You're right next to the San Fernando Valley. You can go work in the valley wherever it is that you do work, and
Mm-hmm.
the 118 never has crazy traffic. So
Don't
it's
tell
like,
anybody that they're gonna
yeah,
all
it's
start going on the
smooth.
118.
Yeah. I just paid off a ticket that I got there. I was going like 110.
Oh, sweet.
No, I was going 90. Still speeding now. They have that little speed trap. So if you're going on the 118, be careful. going down the hill. You won't notice how fast you're going, but
by the way, it's before Stearns. I'll
yeah,
let you know that. Yeah.
yeah, they're always there, and that's exactly where he got me.
Mm-hmm.
I was spaced out. Damn,
So
all good
what
though.
else? Let's see. What else we're gonna cover here?
I wanted to see if you have been having any hurdles on the lending side, any problems that you guys have been seeing recently, that you found maybe a creative way of going over. I know that we've had a lot of clients doing the 2-1 buy down.
Yeah.
Are you seeing any clients opting in for ARMs at all?
No, someone just asked me that. The call was on before. She was his wife. She runs a bank in Idaho, and she was asking me about that. ARMs right now, ARM rates are higher than your fixed rates. So, and just to kind of clarify, ARMs, it's adjustable rate mortgage, but it's a fixed rate only for a short period of time. So it could be fixed for 3 years, 5 years, 7 years or 10 years. And after that term, then it's adjustable. And depending what it is, if it's like a 5-1, that means it's adjustable every one. It'll adjust every year after the fifth year. So no, those are not those rates are higher. We do offer them, but it just doesn't even make any sense. The cost, it's to the point where you look at the cost for the customer to get it, they really can't even get it most times. ARMs are going to be good for like a jumbo loan. So this is going to be like a bank. So if it's like a deal, if it's a big jumbo loan and then the customers, they qualify, no issues. It's not like any type of how do you say, it's a cookie cutter loan for like the bank. They're going to beat us, the majority of the time on that. But if it's like a jumbo loan and there's a few moving parts, so that's something that we would do. But yeah, ARMs, that's going to be, or like a credit union, sometimes they'll have like their killer deal, like a 5-5 ARM or something like that. And they got a killer rate. But yeah, right now I haven't done an ARM and I can't even remember. It's been a couple or it's been more than a couple of years.
Yeah. So
most people want to get into something fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not right now. I mean, maybe it could be in the future, but right now, that's what we're thinking when the rates were moving so much, when they're going up. We're like, okay, well, maybe we'll see where the ARMs are at. And that's that's a good way to go. They didn't go that direction. Then they started talking about the temporary buy downs to take advantage of that. So a temporary buy down, those have been around for a while. I remember it might have been like 10 years ago where that was something when I was with the big bank, they were offering that and we're like, okay, that's cool, but no one ever did it. And that was like, it went out like within a month, it was gone. But now that is a way people are getting into houses because when you can do a regular buy down where you're buying down the note rate, but then the temporary buy down is, how we said before, 2-1, so if your rate is 6.5, the first year, what your first year rate is going to be 4.5, second year is going to be 5.5, and then the next year, the third year goes back to the 6.5, and you can refinance anytime in between that. So if rates go down real low, you can refinance and get that low rate, and then whatever you have left in that account for that buy down amount, you get that back, pays down your loan. But yeah, that's the way people have been getting to houses. That is ideal way. Although, even though let's say in a 2-1, let's say your rate is your payments based off the 4.5, you're getting qualified in this example based off 6.5. So
you need to be able to afford that.
Basically. You got to be able to afford that. So the underwriter is going to qualify you based off that note rate. So if for some reason, if somebody's calculating a payment online, they say, okay, I qualify based off this. If people are just running their own numbers, just if you adjust it to the 4.5, that's not going to be the real number you're going to qualify it off. That could be your payment, but you're going to be you're going to be qualified based off that note rate. But that's the way to go for right now, until maybe something else comes out or ARMs get better, which I don't see that happening. Unless it's like a jumbo loan, then those rates can be pretty pretty competitive.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Hold that thought. We have another question. What are the biggest mistakes sellers and agents are making when selling a property? He says that he'd say it's promoting it correct, not promoting it correctly. Like not having enough photos, no video footage, no virtual tour, and no open houses. I would say it's a combination of all of those things all together. Like when it comes to marketing a house, you have to be all in or you're not in at all, kind of a deal. It has to be a combination of that, and not only those things. You got to go to neighbors. You have to talk to all the neighbors. Hit a couple hundred doors. I hit 500 doors every single time with the listing to actually reach out to the neighbors, because a lot of the time neighbors, like your friends, are essentially at your level, right? Or at your level or above, right?
Mhm.
So these people like tend to have either friends or family members that are maybe looking to come into the area. Maybe they have some friends that want to come and take a look at the property, even if they don't buy. Maybe they even know somebody else. So it's like it's getting the knowledge of the fact that there is a listing coming up, because a lot of the time it's like a person a block away. I was knocking on some doors a couple weeks ago, and I was telling the homeowners about a listing that came up a block, not even a block away, and they're like, "What? No way! That came up on the market." And it's like they had no idea that this home that basically the same as theirs was coming onto the market. So then they were kind of curious. It's like, oh, what's it going for? I was educating them on it. They're not looking to sell, but it gives like they're at that level of people that can afford that home. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So it's like reaching out to the immediate area, doing some mail marketing, letting people know that, hey, this is on the market, or it's coming onto the market. Here's a sneak preview. Doing a private open house for the neighbors before the open house, give them an exclusive. I bring coffee, donuts, and mimosas, but like I'm not saying get drunk, but have some fun at my open house, right? And
Yeah.
like any of those, like if we have some mimosas for the regular open house, like whatever. But like the open houses have to be consistent as well, right away. You have to hit it hard right now, and you can't be lazy with any of the marketing. You really have to hit it really, really hard. And
Yeah.
I have a couple videos on this, but with photos and videos, it has to really tell the story behind the house. It can't really just be kitchen, bathroom, living
Yeah.
room.
And it can't be like, hey, they're taking a picture with their phone.
That is the worst
That's
worst
it's
thing you can
you
do.
can tell it looks really bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it a photographer is not that expensive. It's a couple $100. Okay. Taking video footage, that's another story. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's not that expensive. Virtual tour is helpful. And like you need to have everything in your arsenal to properly sell a house, even if it sells a day later. That's like maybe $2,000 that you spent on sell, like promoting that property, but it sold, right? So and it didn't go withdrawn after 300 days. It
Hmm.
didn't get taken off the market because the seller got, like didn't have any more motivation to sell the property. So like I'd rather spend the money, get it sold, and the market's going to tell us what the price range is. I mean, I can guess all I want, and that's really all it is with any agent. They're guessing. It's like a combination of all the information in the market, and you're just picking a number based off of the comparables, and you're trying to figure it out. So the market's going to tell you what the price is at. The buyers are going to tell you what they're willing to pay for that product. So
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with really with you, unless you're bringing in the buyer. But it's like you have to market it. You got to get eyes off, more eyes on the property, so that you're able to bring that interest even higher, bring that
Yeah.
demand even higher. I know it's a long-winded answer to that, but it's
It's
that's
it's a lot you got
what
to
it takes.
do. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're not selling what, like a small product. I mean, it's several hundred thousands or, a million plus property. So, I mean, being a realtor, it's you gotta, like you're saying, you gotta be all in. So
Yeah.
if you're looking, you want to sell this property, you got to put money of your own money out up front to market it,
Yeah.
to sell it. Cause I mean, I've had it and I'm in the industry. So I've had it where I see a house come on the market. I'm like, oh man, the house came on the market. No way. And not even a realtor, not even knocking on the door, letting us know, which that's something, you should be doing. Like what you do is knocking on these doors, letting the homeowners know, because yeah, you're 100% right. Like when I found out my neighbors, with their tenants, they said, hey, we're moving out. The owner's going to sell the property. I'm like, no way. They're like, yeah, he's going to put it on the market like a month. Right away, I was calling up my friends. Because guess what? Because coincidentally, my friends could afford the house next door. So I'm like, I started calling them up. Hey, what do you think? What do you think? And no one, it was a tenant told me. So just right there, that's proof that like if you're a realtor, you list the property, or before it goes on the market officially, you let the neighbors know, they're gonna know people.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And why take the chance of not getting another pair of eyes on that property?
Yeah.
I mean, only one person is going to purchase that property, right? That's the only thing that can happen. Only one person can buy it. It's
Yeah.
not like 50 people can buy that one house. Only one person or one couple or one group can purchase it. So it's like you need all those eyes all together so that someone can win out. And people in the US love to win. So if there's some competition involved with this transaction, people love to win and they love to compete. So that's essentially what it is. You make it look great. You have all the eyes on that property. You have them compete for it and see what it is that they can do in order to make sure that like they win out on that property. And there you go. Just so you know, I have in my links down below, I have my listing presentation. So I have it there so that you guys can actually take a look at everything that I do in order to sell in order to sell a property. I think I have the link there. It might not be there. You know what? I'll get the link. I'll put it in the chat right now. And no, I'm not afraid that people will steal it because people don't do it anyway.
Oh yeah.
It's a 75-point marketing plan that I do, and I do every single point. So it's something that not like people get lazy, and I have a system behind everything that I do, like in regards to a listing. So I'll put this in the chat so that people can take a look at it. All right. Let's see here. All right. I'll put that right there. It's on a high note, and just click that link and then go to my marketing plan. And you'll see everything that I do to promote and market or sell a home. So it's called Your Marketing Plan. You view the file and it goes through step by step what I do for everyone. And like I said, like I can show it to a million agents and maybe 5 will do it, and they're not going to be my competition. So yeah, guys, let me know if you have any questions. When a property shows for sale online, then months later it's taken off the market online. But then weeks go by, there's still a for sale sign on the front lawn. Is it still for sale or not? It's not technically on the market. Possibly, like every situation is just a little bit different. I think that we would have to do a little bit more research on that specific situation, because you could still have the property listed on the market, but not listed on the MLS. If that makes sense, you can opt out of those things. So you can have it temporarily off of the MLS if you'd like. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting a bunch of messages right now.
No, you're
But
good. Go ahead.
But yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions right now. Condo. Oh yeah. So a lot of people are interested in that condo that I posted up on Instagram. I got I think 2 buyers now that want to take a look at that. How
Is
insane
that is that the who's? I'm not gonna ask whose condo it is because, but I think
it's
I
a
know
new
who it is.
construction.
Oh,
So
it's a new. Oh, that one. Yeah.
mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's and they have like 10 units available. So I might just have to book them all.
There you go.
Oh man, it was a pretty
Yeah.
bad. It's a pretty dope complex. It's at the Five Points in Valencia. So it's a brand new community. Um, and with a brand new community, there is a Melrose, but there's a lot of amenities coming to that community. You have schools, pools, parks. There's a lot of land back there, a ton of land. And I'm gonna have a video coming out tomorrow doing the full tour of that condo, like of two. I'm sorry, that townhome. Two of the
Hmm.
models there that I did a full tour on, and there's gonna be 2 more that are gonna be coming out maybe in like the next 2 weeks. But
Nice.
but yeah, we got to get you on YouTube, man. We got to
I
get you
know.
on YouTube.
I did my first video. I haven't posted it, but already I want to redo it.
Just post it and then
Yeah.
redo it later because this is
Yeah.
going to be that trial period. Like if you have 100,000 people watch it, great, that's awesome,
Yeah.
and you just get to duplicate that video down the line.
Yeah. I
And
have a whole like
yeah,
script on another one, like a whole like New Year 2023 thing. It's like 3 pages long. So I
yeah.
just got to break it up. So it's just that this week I'm going to be probably filming 2 or more YouTube videos,
Mhm.
and I want to probably 20 plus reels, specific short form, and then get some short form out of those YouTube videos too. Does
There you
anyone
go.
else have any other questions about anything, like any lending questions, anything else?
Man, this guy phasing out, and he has a lot of questions today. Do cash buyers have to go through the same buying process as someone who is financing, like credit and income checks, file their taxes and so on? So, not the entire process of someone who's doing the financing. If someone's buying cash, they have to go through the escrow process, of course, and they have to go through the title process for transferring title. Like credit and income checks. So that like I don't think that they no, I don't think anyone checks for income or anything like that.
Yeah. If it's an
Um,
all cash buy, then
mhm,
there's not going to be any credit check, because that means if it's all cash buy, a lender is not even involved in the
yeah,
transaction. It's
there's
just going to
no
be
bank.
the realtors or the realtor with escrow, and you're just going to have to show proof of funds. So the seller is actually, seller's going to want to see proof of funds, in whatever account it is or multiple accounts.
Hey,
So yeah, we're not even involved in it.
hey, you know what? Phasing out. Hey, if you got cash and enough cash to buy a home out here in California or in Texas, I'll help you out, man. I'll do it. That's okay.
Or Idaho too. We
Idaho,
can,
we have a lot of people in Idaho that can help you
yeah,
out. So and Nevada, and I think Arizona as well. We have a couple buddies out there. Well, man, it's okay. Yeah, we'll help you out. We'll help you out. It's all good. Um, the last cash buyer I had to deal with was actually someone from YouTube,
hmm
very famous person internationally, Alexander Ryback. I helped him buy his home out here in Santa Clarita, or not Santa Clarita, in Southern California. I'm not going to say where, but yeah, he's a famous violinist. He won Eurovision years ago. I think he said 10 years ago. And yeah, man, he bought
he
something cash.
crushes it. He
Yeah,
crushes it, man.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And he's having some fun too. Like he's been showing me pictures and sending me videos. He turned his entire living room into a studio.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And he has a beautiful, beautiful like view. His home is like he said, Danny, the one thing I want is I want to be able to walk. I'm like, you can walk wherever, but like, what do you mean about that? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, I want to just be able to go away from my house. I don't want to be in my house. I want to walk away from my house. Like, so why are we buying a house, bro? Like, if you're gonna constantly be walking away, but you know what? He had a vision, and
Mhm.
it's a great property. It's a great home. But
That's
no,
cool.
there was nothing that had to deal with any financing. Title has to just look into like your name, social security, if which you should have one to in
Yeah.
order to purchase a house. And there's no criminal history background checks or anything like that, as far as I know. Um, and yeah, you should be good to go
Yeah.
with the cash buy.
Yeah. It's just the realtors, escrow, the title company, they're all involved in the transaction. But I've had relatives purchase properties, cash, multiple properties, like over and over and over again.
Mhm,
And I mean, they'll do 7 to 10 day escrows fast,
mhm.
as long as all the title work is all done. But yeah, they get them done quick. So if you come in with cash, man, if you have the cash to do it, make it happen. Or maybe buy multiple properties, get some other properties, you create some cash flow. Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, man. And at the same time, that was a quick escrow. I think it was like a 12-day escrow, only because it could have been a 10-day, and it just took them a couple extra days to move out. That's all they needed,
Yeah.
because they needed to move from wherever they were to their new place.
And
And yeah,
that transaction was done like when it was going crazy, right? The
yeah.
market was going wild. So
And
yeah,
we got a discount on the property too. I think we came in a couple grand under what the
yeah,
next bid was. Like
yeah.
I think we did go a little bit over, but it was only by a little bit. And the fact that we had a cash buyer and they didn't have any like VA competition or anything like that. Everyone was conventional.
Hmm.
At that price range, I think that like for the most part it would be conventional, but yeah, yeah, it was a fun one. But any other questions, guys? I think you want to wrap it up at an hour.
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna be here for another 14 more minutes. Um, I we just or today, yeah, today we posted up the podcast with Caleb.
oh yeah.
And that was an interesting podcast, man.
Were you sitting there the whole time?
I was doing the podcast with him and Dean. I was right next to Dean.
Oh, it was a three. So you were okay. I didn't get to really watch it. So it was a three of you. Got it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm curious to see. Um, okay.
His story is very interesting.
Very.
All right, phasing out again. Another question. Hey, I hope you follow us on like Instagram or some kind of social media. Introduce yourself. I'd love to talk to you more about this. If either one of you were a builder, what would you do differently than what you've seen other home builders do? Brand new property or gut and remodel? I would focus more, me personally, I would focus more on new construction because of the shortage on housing. The thing I would do differently is a lot of these builders are not as honest and with their quality of work and just the timelines as well. I think that just has to do with just the multiple bodies of people that have to work on these properties, but
Yeah.
just like multiple phases of different types of people. Like you have to deal with the utility companies, and they're not on your timeline; they're on their own timeline. You have to deal with construction and the construction people, and those like construction. It can go awry. They can lose product, or something can go wrong.
Or just
Um,
waiting. There's no product. Like what happened,
right,
recently. Yeah, not enough
right. That
product.
that happened a lot. And and it can be a number of things where like maybe it's a permit issue where the city is just not approving stuff. So that's what kind of makes it a little
Yeah.
bit difficult with like keeping the timelines, but you can be honest during that time. And we've
Yeah.
come across a couple builders where they're just not as honest, and they made
Yeah.
sure that agents were not involved so that the buyer didn't have any representation. So that's one thing I do recommend. Even like I don't get paid, like if you're a buyer, I don't get paid by you. I get paid by the seller. That's how it goes in, in this process. You never pay me. I just do the work and I get paid off of my results, right? And the builder would be in this instance the seller, right? So when they can control the entire process and say like, no, we're not paying buying agents, so we're not going to take you in through the transaction. So you don't get any representation. You don't have anybody on your side. So that like when that happens, it's shady. Like that tells me that they're not willing to give a top tier product. I lost out on a $1.2 million deal because of that. And it was gut wrenching, not because of the dollar amount. I mean, yes, it was. It was gut wrenching because of the dollar amount, and it made me feel like, okay, they can easily mess something up because of the type of property that it is. It is a very expensive product, and if one thing goes wrong, it's going to be thousands of dollars. Not
You have no one on your side to back you up. You're going into an alley. You're going into a dark alley by yourself.
Exactly.
And there's a few people there that are armed that could potentially hurt you or actually will hurt you. You're going in by yourself. Yeah, you might be tough, but you need someone to have your back.
Yeah.
That's how it is, man. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what would you do, Alex? Would you buy a new property, gut and remodel?
I've gutted and remodeled before. My brother and my uncle did that quite a bit too. I would build. And the way housing is, if I was a builder, I would do, well, just you've probably seen them, 3-story homes. Excuse me. So tri-level, do that. To be able to get, I mean, I know people aren't crazy about these, but this is the way housing is going is, 3-level homes, getting as many properties as you can on one lot. Because I think people are not so crazy about having a yard now because people want to get out, or people are just stuck, they're staying at home. But yeah, I would probably build. I would build over gutting and doing that. And I mean, I think right now that market's it's super competitive.
Yeah. Like a lot of these big box builders are buying up a lot of land. Like the 5 Points, for example, there are only national brands there, from my understanding. Richmond is a multi-state brand, but I don't know if it's a totally a national brand. Toll Brothers is a luxury brand. They get the best of the best.
They have great properties. I think, the properties are amazing.
Yeah, they're really top tier. KB Homes is a national builder. They have different branches that like different names of them. But they're a national brand. What else? KB, Toll, Richmond, Lennar. Lennar is not. That's one of those brands that it is very shady, but they are there as well. And I think there's one other builder that's there. They're like the one-off, I believe. Like they're the one that's like you haven't heard of them kind of a deal.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, I don't really know too many builder names now.
Yeah. But at the same time, like I don't like, it's so competitive that they're so obscure. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't even know the name. I don't remember the name at all.
Yeah.
So like that's how these big builders are just able to win out, and they buy a bunch of property. Tri Point is another builder that's out in the Canyon countryside. They're at the Skyline Ranch community there, and they own basically everything that's built out there. It's a whole mountain that they're building.
Wow.
And it's only them. So it's like massive competition. But it would be fun to do.
Yeah.
Romeo Echo Homes, just like Romeo Echo, what is it? What would be the name? It would be I don't know.
I
Let
could
me
see it
look at the
happening one day,
description.
though. I could see it happening one day.
It's possible, and it,
Yeah.
it might have to do with like a lot of these yeah, veteran communities are just really shitty. They're just not great. I've sold one with
Hmm.
Dean. That was a headache of a deal.
I remember that.
It was only a headache because of the organization that was essentially taking care of the making it a VA only community. Like they were the ones that were essentially ruining everything.
Yeah.
Everything. It was insane.
Yeah. I don't
Insane.
know how much red tape is involved in that, but yeah. It's usually it's not. I haven't heard like same thing on other veteran communities like that.
Yeah.
It's just a pain in the butt. Yeah.
You need to earn a specific amount of money within a specific bracket, but in that bracket, that is like you're barely able to even afford the mortgage. So
Yeah.
it's considered a low income housing, but like you're house poor
Yeah.
with that. And they don't allow you to list the home for like whatever they decide. Like if they say, hey, you can't sell it for more than 500, but the market's saying you can get $700,000 out of this, they're like, no, 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 you can't. You get
Yeah.
so it's a shitty deal. Yeah, it's really crappy, but it is. They're there. They're doing what they can, I guess.
So we phasing out was asking a lot of questions there.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I hope you're following us on
Yeah.
social. Have
Check us
all
out
like,
on IG too.
yeah, and hopefully we can connect with you and don't know if you're a homeowner or not, but yeah, we'll definitely help you out. Yeah, now I'm gonna add my listing presentation to this description here because I got my personal links, but I don't have that listing presentation on here. I'll get that on there right away. But take a look at that. That's like all the stuff that I
There you
do.
go.
75-point marketing plan. It dives deep into what I do. I create all kinds of marketing for the property and before it's listed. It's like a 3-week process before we even list it, and it's a process before like we put it on the market. Timing is always a big thing, and making sure that we market it well so that when it's on the market, we hit it hard. I was able to list a property that was on the market for 5 days in like October, which was like the beginning of the
It
end.
was it was like the sky was like falling
Yeah,
supposedly. Yeah. Because
and
people
we sold it in 5 days.
Yep.
And there was another listing there that was on the market for like 4 or 5 months. Okay, phasing out. You live in LA. You follow us. Let's go, man. Send us a message. I want to make sure that I'm following you back, man. That's cool. So he does follow us on IG, and he's actively looking. So hopefully we'll
Nice.
be able to help you out, man. I would love to help you out, and if you're being helped out by somebody else, I mean, if you have any questions, by all means, I'm an open book. I want to help people out.
Yeah, same thing. Likewise. I mean, if he's already working with a lender, cool, ask me questions. Yeah, feel free, man. It's always good to get a second opinion to see. I don't know what your scenario is. I'm not going to be the one that says, "Hey, I can do your deal,"
Yeah,
because we did that. We talked about that in our last call. How family member says they can get the deal done, or some other stranger. But yeah, ask any questions. Feel
yeah,
free.
yeah. We're always here to help, man. I've gone through situations where like buyer's agent wasn't helping out the buyer properly, and I helped them out with the like, hey, am I supposed to sign this and am I supposed to sign that? And he was a friend, like he was supposed to use me, but it is what it is, and I was able to help out the situation. So he got his place. It's good. He's a homeowner now. It's all good. It's all good. That's all that matters. The American dream.
There we go.
All right. Looks like we're not getting any other questions, man. But thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. You can do it again
Appreciate
next
it.
week.
Yeah, I'll have
Let's go.
you. I'm gonna try to have Roland, or maybe we should have Josh. We'll have Josh on here next time.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll force him to get on YouTube.
All right. Yeah, let's make it happen.
All right, man. And we are doing the podcast and filming on Friday. We're good to
Yeah.
go on. Okay.
Good to go on that too. Perfect.
All right. All right. Well, let's sign out. I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for staying on with us for this live stream. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Peace.
See ya.